It is a fucking shit show. Speaking of shit shows, Candace Owens, as a clandestine operator, I wanted to check in with Candace Owens to see what she has to say about the Iranian retaliation. Charlie Kirk was the first casualty of the war in Iran. Never forget what they did to him. We are Charlie Kirk. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. By your logic, it's a waste of time. President Trump rules out ground action in Iranian soil. That was yesterday. Today's news is different. He's saying he's not ruling it out. He wants it to happen now. President Trump rules out ground action on Iranian soil. In an interview with NBC, the U.S. president referred to the possibility of ground action in Iran, dismissed it. It's a waste of time. They lost everything. They lost their fleet. They lost everything. They lost their fleet. They lost everything they could lose. I think he ended up saying the only thing they have that remains is their guts or something, which is, again, kind of a cool thing to say about your enemy. But Felix says, Operation You're the Real Drug Addict. Your ass should go to rehab and not me is coming to a close. Operation It Would Be Gay and Boring to Beat Your Ass and I Have Better Things to Do, such as have sex with adult women, is just beginning. We're doing so good. So good.
America still ringing out in these streets loud and clear.
We will not give up this revolution. We will not give up the blood for our leader. Every single son of Iran is ready to fight America and Israel until victory, God willing.
In the skies above, Israeli warplanes in flight over Iran to strike what the pilot here calls targets of historic consequence. Taken out overnight by 50 Israeli jets, Ali Khamenei's underground military bunker, hidden deep beneath a residential area which the IDF said they'd ordered an evacuation of ahead of that strike. The Pentagon releasing video of further hits on Iranian targets, including this on an Iranian drone carrier. The real-life battle through the US crosshairs. This war is having terrible real-life consequences on multiple fronts across the Middle East. Hundreds of thousands displaced now in Lebanon and more than 200 killed. Huge plumes of smoke on the Beirut skyline as Israel continues to hammer Hezbollah targets. And Hezbollah hits back. 8 Israeli soldiers wounded, including the son of Israel's far-right finance minister, who not 24 hours earlier had said that parts of Beirut would soon look like Gaza.
We are striking the enemy, both at its leadership, its oppressive regime, and at various targets, including in Lebanon. First,
I keep seeing a lot of posts saying the IR shut down the internet in Iran. Is there a reason for this? I don't think they have, but maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's that, like, I only hear that from diaspora people, but I don't think that's the case. I think there's like electricity issues from time to time, but I'm pretty sure the internet is still around.
I'd like to extend my best wishes for a full and speedy recovery to our wounded, including the son of our friend.
Update from inside Iran is that since the internet is cut, Iran is completely unaware of anything going on outside and only hear bombs. Yeah, I mean, it could also be infrastructure damage as well, but I doubt it. We can't call our families. They have to call us via landline. Well, you wouldn't hear from people in Iran if it was out. Bro, it's cut off. What are you on about? Haven't talked to friends for a week? No, the internet is shut down. Hasan, I can't talk to my family. Don't spread misinfo. I didn't know that. I think people have like periodic access. It could be Starlink too, though. I talked to a few people in Iran. Some people have been able to message me on Telegram for like 30 minutes per day. Starlink is banned there. No, it is, but people still use it. Updates. Net blocks is blocked 100%. Update. Best show Iran remains in digital darkness after 6 full days of under internet blackout with 1% connectivity at a 144-hour mark. Meanwhile, the regime continues to promote its agenda through whitelisted networks, cultivating media assets at home and abroad. My sister's fiance's family's in Iran. Yesterday was the first day they heard from them for like 4 days because no internet. My mistake, chatters. Every home has a satellite receiver. They're aware to the international media. Yeah, I think there are ways in which they're getting information, but I think they have like their means of communication over the internet is limited. An Iranian journalist in Iran struggles to connect to the internet, but CNN's journalist is filming and uploading footage with no issues. CNN uses satellite comms gear, standard for war zones, BGN VSAT uplink to transmit, not Iran's public internet. This is not a gotcha moment. All major outlets in a war zone use satellite uplinks. Attacks on CNN for being on the ground in Iran right now is wild. Why? It's easy because the people who are super anti-regime and want like American and Israeli intervention don't like that there are people on the ground. What told you? What is this? Exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi says he accepted the role of Iran's transitional leader. Wait, what the fuck? This doesn't.
Public has launched missiles at the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Jordan, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia.
Bro, he doesn't have a popular base of support. Like, who gives a shit that he says he's... Who cares if he's accepted it? He's not... Okay, yeah, it's like... Juan Guaido had a better shot at being the transitional leader in Venezuela than this guy does in Iran.
Our Arab neighbors. These violations of their sovereignty are unacceptable, and we condemn them. But this is nothing new. This is who the Islamic Republic has always been, and this is why it must end. For nearly 5 decades, this terrorist regime has sown chaos and bloodshed across our region. It propped up Assad, turning Syria into a graveyard. It planted Hezbollah as a state within a state in Lebanon. It armed the Houthis to destabilize the Arabian Peninsula. It empowered militias in Iraq to undermine Iraqi sovereignty. It attacked the economic hubs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. None of this has ever been the desire of the Iranian people, but rather that of a regime occupying our country. Now, however,
Pahlavi announced today that he is leading a 1 million Shah march in Tehran and is getting Iranian expats on the buses to drive into Iran next week. Shut the fuck up. You're joking, right?
The landscape has fundamentally shifted. Assad is gone. Hezbollah has been decimated. The regime's military nuclear program has been set back. Its economy is in a free fall. The pillars of this regime's...
First of all, why is he saying this in English? Like, dog, why is this in English is the question you should be asking yourself. Like when an Israeli government official speaks in English versus speaking in Hebrew. Who's the audience for this? It's certainly not the Iranian people, right? Because if he was speaking to his, legion of fans inside of Iran right now, he'd probably be speaking in Farsi. This is for us. This is for the Americans. Did anybody offer it to him after a long period of contemplation? I've decided to accept the position as Dakota Johnson's husband.
Aggression are crumbling. The Iranian people have paid the...
It's really funny that he's doing this for the American audience only a day after Donald Trump was like, I don't think Reza Pahlavi's going to be the guy. Like even the Donald Trump already hit him with the Maria Machado line where he was like, I don't think that's going to work. He's like, no, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President Trump, thank you very much. I will be the interim president of Iran. President Trump, thank you.
Price in blood to reach this moment. The regime massacred tens of thousands of my compatriots in just 2 days, but it didn't break the people. Instead, the regime itself is breaking. Today, history reminds us of our future potential. Before the revolution, Iran worked closely with Arab leaders, from King Faisal to Sheikh Zayed to King Hussein to President Sadat. In Oman, my father helped Sultan Qaboos defend his country against insurgency. We were true partners then. We will be true partners again. The Iranian people have called on me to lead the transition after the regime is gone. I have accepted that responsibility. Part of their great mandate to me is to return our nation and our foreign relations to normalcy. I will do exactly that. My commitment is to ensure the transition is orderly, the country is stabilized, and Iranians determine their future through the ballot box. We will not repeat the mistakes of past transitions. We will avoid de-Baathification scenarios and maintain as many bureaucrats and public servants in transition as possible. Iranians have made their choice at an enormous price. Now I ask our friends in the Arab world to join us, to prepare to recognize and engage our transitional government. We will rebuild our nation not for expansion, but to serve the Iranian people. We will base our diplomatic relations not on exportation of ideology, but on mutual respect and shared interest. We will reintegrate into the regional and global economy to increase.
Bro, I'm not kidding when I say this. I think Patrick Bet-David would have a better shot at least like getting Trump to think he would be a better interim leader for Iran. It's true. Like, I think if Patrick Bet-David sincerely went up to the president and was like, I think it's time. Like, I think it's time we valuetain the Iranian people. Donald Trump could be like, all right, you're better than this fucking guy. Interesting that if this message is for the Iranis, that he's not speaking Farsi, it's not for the Iranians. It's addressing the Iranians, but it's in English because it's for the American audience.
Increase prosperity for the citizens of all of our nations.
I don't like him, but is he not the best option to stopping Israel and America to stop bombing Iran? Bro, they're doing Democrat mindset. They're doing a harm reduction Democrat mindset to fucking install the Shah in Iran. Oh. Thank you. Thank you, chatter. That was awesome. I needed that. I fucking needed to hear that today. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you exist. Motherfuckers at harm reduction. He's lib-maxing in the chat in ways that previously thought were impossible. This level of libbing the fuck out has never been seen before, especially considering that this would be militarily installing a puppet leader that doesn't have a popular base of support in this foreign country that we're fucking nuking right now. Hell yeah.
Liberal. Happy fun, la la la. Human smuggling, fentanyl deaths. forced government euthanasia, chopping up children's genitals, la la la la la la la la la la la la
Thing with the Iranian.
Chatter's gonna get to the point of the Iranian Revolution in his history book and be super shocked that we literally did that. We literally did that before. Hell yeah. It worked so well last time. That's why this guy lives in Maryland now. Oh, it's fucking, I can't even finish this. Who gives a shit? Fuck this guy. Yeah, let's take a look at what the opposition party is doing, by the way. Cory Booker getting intercepted by my goat, Medea Benjamin of Code Pink.
Senator Booker, what are we going to do about Iran? Senator Booker, you're going to vote for the War Powers Act, right? What are you talking about? Your friend. What are you laughing at? What did I do now? I mean, I don't like your position on Israel, but I assume in the case.
It's so funny that when they see that pink outfit, this is every politician's nightmare, okay? Medea Benjamin, my queen. The speed walking goat, okay? Every politician sees her coming and shits their fucking pants. Every time. They're like, oh, here we go. That's another fucking clip. That's another clip.
In the case of Iran, you've got a good position. What did I do? Boy, I thought Cory Booker was a public figure and liked to talk to the public.
You don't care about war, reckless war with our taxes and American style?
Have you been speaking out about the unprovoked war in Iran? I mean, I assume you're going to vote the right way, but we want you to speak out, Senator.
I have a real treat for you guys. I'm finally going to hang out with her on the trip to Cuba. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Creating chaos, havoc in the Middle East. And Cory Booker won't say a word about it. Senator Booker, you have to speak out. You see what's happening in Iran and the whole region?
Wow, such a cool guy.
Man, such a cool guy.
Great, how about you? I'm doing well, thank God.
Such a cool guy, but won't say anything when we ask you about Iran? That is shameful.
Killed in schools?
No more spoilers? No, I'm gonna give you spoiler. I'm gonna give you spoilers all day, every day, baby. Don't even. Is this too on the nose? Israeli agent? Oh, yeah. Wesley Bell. Unseated Cory Bush. Democrat, by the way.
Congressman.
Again, dude, just fucking bought and sold, baby. That's how American politics works.
Missouri's 1st District, and I'm proud to stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters and support Israel, particularly in a time that has been very tumultuous. When we see what has happened in the last few years, I think it's even more apropos for us to stand with our friends and one of our greatest allies. And oftentimes what gets lost is that, yes, we support Israel, but Israel also supports us. So from our national security standpoint, Israel is a key strategic partner. And so it's important for us to stand with our friends. And I'm proud to be here standing with our Jewish brothers and sisters.
Yeah, he's fucking not even like, he is barely sentient, dude. He is barely a fucking human being, okay? He is just a vehicle to deliver AIPAC talking points directly. That's the only reason they spent $30 million to get him elected, as opposed to Cory Bush, punishing Cory Bush for the crime of being, correct on the issue of Israel, but too early. Obviously, we're gonna unseat his bitch ass. He's done. He's over. In the midterms, I'm gonna be working with Cori Bush, and we're gonna be linking up and all that good stuff. So, but he is definitely done. It's over for him. Incredible. Yeah, Houthis already threatened the other countries, saying, should Arab countries join the war, we will not leave Iran alone. Missouri thanks you greatly, of course. Do the Israeli army try to do special forces landing in North Bekaa, far from the border? Yeah, there are reports that the occupation army special forces tried to make a landing in Bekaa and are now pinned down by Hezbollah. Hezbollah conducted 20 operations today and wounded over a dozen occupation soldiers. They are trying to actively go back into Lebanon, but the ATGMs that the Hezbollah has keep fucking lasering their tanks. And not only that, but I think one of the operations literally led to I suspect a minor injury for Bezalel Smotrich's very own son. So you know how I always say, like, oh, you know, draft insert politician son. Well, Bezalel Smotrich's son is on pack watch, I think. Not sure if it's actually like significant. I'm not sure if it's serious, but there is that as well. Where is it? New from me, senior reporter at Jewish Currents, Alex Kane. AIPAC is unequivocally backing Trump's war on Iran. The candidates they're backing in Illinois Democratic primaries, not so much. It's a sign of how unpopular the war is and the tightrope AIPAC and centrist Democrats are walking. The two-party ironclad pro-Israel consensus will be dead in the United States in the next 10 to 20 years. I think it's going to be dead in the next couple of years, by the way. You know, I'm working on it. Yeah, Jim Scudo says Russia is providing Iran with intelligence about the locations and movements for U.S. troops, ships, and aircraft, say multiple people familiar with U.S. intel. The first indication that Moscow has sought to get involved in the war. Confirming WAPO. The U.S. Zachary Cohn on CNN says the U.S. also has intelligence suggesting China may be preparing to provide Iran with financial assistance, spare parts, and missile components. Multiple sources tell us. Though Beijing has stayed out of the war up until now, China relies heavily on Iranian oil and has reportedly been pressuring Tehran to allow safe passage for vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, I mean, they might have already been, you know, providing some strike targets. Who knows? Maybe it was the Iranian ingenuity that was able to figure out where American troops are staying. But let's hear what the Chinese foreign minister had to say when asked the question.
稍等，沈阳，稍等，那边。Yes. Do you have a question? Yes.
Sorry, I thought you were calling on someone else. Russia and China are supporting Iran politically and otherwise. This is a
the exact hotel rooms they just guessed, of course. No. Iran has surveillance capabilities. Iran has very good hackers. Handala is very good, right, at cyber warfare and stuff like that. So it could be Iran's own teams that have been able to pinpoint exactly where the U.S. military, like the troops that have, and the defense contractors and CIA operatives that have like left the bases or left the fucking left the embassy compounds and whatnot, like where they're staying, because like all of those, if you noticed, there has been some civilian casualties in the Gulf. But the numbers are fairly limited. And yet, They keep fucking striking, you know, hotels and whatnot. Why the fuck are there no one? Why is no one dead inside of those hotel strikes? Well, that's because the suspicion is that they're defense contractors that die or get severely injured in the process, and the American government is not revealing that information. The American government can't hide active duty service, like line of duty deaths. They can, but it's they have some like it's much harder to hide active duty line of service deaths than it is to hide defense contractor deaths. They do it all the fucking time. And you'll never hear if a CIA officer dies in the line of duty anyway. So there's reporting requirements in line of duty service member deaths. No such restrictions exist for defense contractors. And America heavily relies on defense contractors in the Gulf anyway. So the suspicion is, and no, it's not 500 in the way that the IRGC is claimed. That's ridiculous. Oh, okay. I don't believe that. I'd be shocked if that was the case. You can't hide 500 people dying, okay? You can't hide 500 soldiers dying. The number being 500 means it's not just defense contractors anyway. It would mean like actual uniformed service members dying as well. So my suspicion is, I have a headache. My suspicion is that there are defense contractors that are getting hit, and they're hiding the casualty reports because they can with defense contractors, and that's what those strikes are. Because otherwise, they're literally striking hotel rooms with Shahed drones, and then those hotel rooms are just fucking empty. Right? And that seems a little ridiculous. The very fact that they have hit hotels and some civilian areas, and there are very few casualties, even on like the Gulf National side or the Gulf Residence side, implies that they are hitting something. We just don't know what they're hitting, like who they're hitting. Why is it hard to hide active duty deaths? There's like reporting protocols for if people die in the line of duty. Like they have to inform next of kin, things like that. Obviously, the American government does hide it, but I'm pretty sure that there's oversight around that sort of thing. I mean, you can't even hide the fucking contractor deaths either, to be fair. Like, for example, there were diplomatic cables that were intercepted by Washington Post. And those diplomatic cables showed that, like, some CIA assets were hit. And we learned about it because the Washington Post reported it. This is something that I brought up earlier. Yeah, Washington Post State Department cable relays that 2 Pentagon employees were injured in an Iranian strike on Bahraini hotel. That was on March 2nd. An Iranian drone strike on a hotel in Bahrain injured 2 U.S. Department employees. Now, the question is, does Iran internally have the capabilities of figuring out where these guys are? Or are they getting aid from a much more powerful government with incredible surveillance capabilities? Iran vid, 30,000 dead? What the fuck are you talking about? So, one of the ways that they definitely were surveilling American defense contractors in the region was their applications. One of the ways that they were surveilling active duty service members was through the apps that they use on their phones. because U.S. CENTCOM a couple of days ago sent out a mass notification to all of the active duty and all of their assets in the region to stop using their applications on their phones, like, you know, to stop ordering food on like whatever the fucking regional Uber Eats is, because there was a suspicion that there was a leak from those apps, and that is yet another point of confirmation. That was yet another point of confirmation that they were very precise in their targeting, because at the end of the day, they have, like, the Iranian side here has a lot to lose by just like striking random civilian targets in the Gulf without any reason, right? Like, they could, I'm not putting it past them, and there could be collateral damage as well. But I suspect that those targets are very precise. And the only thing that the only reason why I feel this way, the only reason why I'm speculating, is because of, you know, bits and pieces of information like this. Obviously, we'll never fully learn the story. We'll never fully we won't fully understand exactly what happened in the early days of the Iranian operations, specifically the drone strikes on the Gulf soil. The airports is easy. Is the easiest way to understand. You attack the airports because you want to, one, stop the troop evacs, like medical evacuations. Again, war crime. But also the legal reason is because American military aircraft also land in those airports. They use the refuelers. Like, the legal justification for why they're striking the airports is because the civilian airports are dual use, because it plays a role in the logistical chain that America, like, when America is putting their refueling planes, like landing their refueling planes in a civilian airport, all of a sudden that's dual use. Which is, once again, ironic to even bring up the fact that there is, like, this is a war crime, because, you know, we're talking about America and Israel here, okay? Iran could be doing war crimes every single day with all of its might, with whatever its capabilities are, and it wouldn't touch a fraction of what Israel has done in the region to Iran, to the Palestinians. Like, it's not even a question, right? Like, so it's like comparing the bombing of Dresden to the Holocaust, you know?
According to the Iranian foreign minister, could you tell us what kind of support that China is providing politically or otherwise to Iran? Is there any military or dual-use support? Thank you.
中方反对美国和以色列违反国际法，对伊朗发动军事打击，支持伊朗捍卫主权安全。
We support Iran in safeguarding its sovereignty. China opposes the U.S. and Israel launching military strikes against Iran in violation of international law. We support Iran in safeguarding its sovereignty, security, territorial integrity, national dignity, and upholding its legitimate and lawful rights and interests.
支持伊朗维护自身的正当合法权益。
China always advocates resolving issues through diplomatic and political means. We call for an immediate stop to the military actions to prevent the conflict from spreading and spilling over, to avoid further escalation of the situation. That did not answer the question at all. But maybe in some ways it did answer the question. Yeah, I'm fluent. I'm fluent in Chinese, baby.
Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, and I want our soldiers and wounded to know the entire nation stands behind you.
Their ballistic missile capabilities still the pride of Iranian state TV, with intercepts this Friday over Saudi Arabia and the UAE, and a large fire at a US Kuwaiti airbase caused by Iranian ordnance. But in Israel, the country's formidable aerial defense is doing what it's meant to do, and the pace of incoming fire has dropped off noticeably. It may be that Iran is running out of missiles. It may be that its strategy for now is to focus on the Gulf countries and that the worst is yet to come, as they keep saying. But I think for the Israeli security...
Israeli media, our soldiers might be captured or dead. Oh, no. Stop. No. Are you talking about the special forces? The special forces operation where they tried to fucking land in Lebanon? No. Bro, they did it again. The 3D video of Trust Me, Bro. This is where the late Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei was located when the IDF attacked with 50 Israeli Air Force fighter jets. The Israeli Defense Forces released a 3D animation. Dude, why are you even doing this? Like, no one cares. No one believes it. I don't even know why they're doing it at this point. It's kind of crazy. I know that there were multiple security incidents in both Bekaa and the south. Al-Mayadeen, citing Israeli media, the Radwan force of Hezbollah set up an ambush for our forces. Quds intense exchange of fire between Radwan and the occupation army forces in Qiyam. Unconfirmed, I'm just sharing. Bro, you can't be fucking throwing that out there. Okay, there is a way to interpret this reporting. Okay, when Hebrew media says there is a difficult security incident, what that means is people died. Okay, if it's an extremely difficult security incident, that might be hostages. Okay. Oh, Ali Mortada is back. He says, hello, my enemies. Welcome to Baalbek. Israeli media, Hezbollah's Radwan force has ambushed our forces. I don't know when this video is from. Ooh, is intense gunfire targeting Israeli helicopters attempted to evacuate the forces involved in the landing operation in Nabi Sheet as Lebanese resistance fighters continue to confront the occupation. Oh, shit. So they did actually fucking... So they did smoke them, and then they tried to extract them. Israeli forces attempted an airborne landing in eastern Lebanon, but withdrew after a difficult security incident. Local reports say Israeli forces attempted to land near Nabi Street in Bekaa Valley in eastern Lebanon near the Syrian border, but the operation failed and the troops were forced to withdraw from the area. At least 14 Israeli airstrikes hit the area during the incident. Oh, that's hostages. Oh, that's got to be hostages. Okay, so there was a special forces operation that took place. They got ambushed, right? According to initial reports. If they deployed airstrikes, I suspect that they were trying to, well, not hostages, prisoners of war, obviously. Sorry. POWs, yes. I apologize. I mean, I don't really. You know what I fucking mean, Chad. Calm down. Gunfire seen in circulating video shows resistant fighters targeting Israeli helicopters surrounding the operation. Hebrew media described the episode as a difficult security incident in Lebanon with details currently under Israeli military censorship. Is it? I feel like it's happening. I feel like it's literally happening. It's the fucking decades. It's the decades. This week has been a decades of happenings. All of those fucking 18-year-old brigadier rear admiral generals. By the way, if you get those yellow ribbons out, the reason why I say it's likely that prisoners of war were possibly taken is because they immediately start fucking pummeling the area when the operation goes south, and they realize that like they realize that the Hezbollah forces were able to ambush and potentially take prisoners of war. Israel's policy is to kill them. Now they're saying a helicopter was shot down. Hezbollah reportedly ambushes Israeli special forces in Lebanon. News sources report that an Israeli special forces helicopter operation in the Bekaa region, eastern Lebanon, was met with an ambush. Where is the fucking... Don't you mean prisoners of special security operations? Yeah. Reuters. Oh, remember what I told you about American insurance? Oh, a spokesperson for Iran's Revolutionary Guard challenged U.S. President Donald Trump to deploy U.S. naval assets to escort oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state media reported on Friday. Oh. The U.S. Navy could begin escorting oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz if necessary, Trump said on Tuesday. The conflict in the Middle East has halted shipping and energy exports through the vital Strait of Hormuz. Guard spokesperson Ali Mohammed Naini said Iran strongly welcomes the escort of oil tankers and that U.S. forces will be there for the crossing of the Strait of Hormuz. And we are, by the way, awaiting your presence, according to state media. What ambush, Lon? They're invading a foreign country? Fucking ambush? Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? Like I'm not putting a negative association to Hezbollah ambushing foreign invading forces by the fucking Israeli Nazi brigade. Are you kidding me? It's fine. You can do an ambush and have that be ambush it's just like a tactical move. It doesn't mean a bad thing. We recommend that before making any decision, the Americans remember the fire on the American supertanker Bridgeton in 1987 and the oil tankers that were recently targeted, Naini said. At least 9 vessels have been attacked since the U.S. and Israel first began strikes on Iran on Saturday, and the guards ordered ships not to cross the strategic waterway. We're going to be winning so much. We're going to be winning so much. You're going to say, please, Mr. President, no more winning. No more winning. The funny thing is that currently the ship owners, the insurers, won't even pay for the regular security escort that most ships purchase, even when there isn't war. Yeah, because the movement is halted entirely. Okay, remember what I said. Burn this image to the back of your mind. Okay, an American naval asset trying to escort an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz and getting fucking lasered with Iranian rockets. Because that will be the resounding image of American empire's collapse, okay? Because think about how easy it is for Iran so far, even with all of the American and Israeli strikes taking place, to pepper Bahrain, okay? The Strait of Hormuz is 20 kilometers long. They will not be able to get American naval assets to walk the oil tankers through. It's like 20 to 30 kilometers wide. Wait. Okay, shut up. I said long, wide, whatever. It is an incredibly tight, an incredibly narrow passage. Not only is it an incredibly narrow passage, but Iran has a lot of go fast boats that they deploy. Those are still fine, right? Because America keeps talking about how, like, oh, we're destroying Iranian, we're destroying the Iranian naval assets and all this stuff. They still have plenty, I suspect. But outside of that, they can just lob unlimited missiles. Okay? They can lob unlimited missiles. I don't even think they didn't even mine it. No, they did not even mine it, for the record. They could mine it if they want to. I don't think they mined it. I don't think they will mine it. They don't have to mine it. Because as it stands currently, they can just fucking do a missile barrage, a drone barrage at any fucking naval asset that tries to ensure and pull through an oil tanker from that incredibly fucking narrow passage. And that will be Donald Trump's that will be Donald Trump's final move here. There is a reason why it hasn't. There's a reason why they haven't attempted it yet, and I don't think Donald Trump is crazy enough to do it. It will be fucking over. Houthis might face off with the USS Gerald Ford soon. Oh yeah, USS Gerald Ford is moving as well. Seen a lot of questions about why Ansar Allah has stayed out of this, and we may soon discover it's because they're going to solo the Ford CSG. This is a dramatically riskier situation for the USN than what the Lincoln has been dealing with, because if the Ford wants to make it to the Arabian Sea, it'll have to pass through Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which is only 16 miles wide at its most narrow point. Either that or they're about to attempt the funniest possible thing in the Hormuz. U.S. military planners are reportedly examining options to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Any viable solution would likely require heavily escorted merchant traffic. Yeah, that part is fucking insane. I'm telling you right now, any sort of fucking naval warfare in the Strait of Hormuz is going to be devastating. Any sort of naval warfare or any sort of naval positioning in the Strait of Hormuz is going to be fucking devastating for the Americans. Okay? I'm telling you right now, I haven't been wrong so far with what I've been explaining to you. It just doesn't make any sense as to how they would just, like, you might as well be feeding the Iranian death machine more and more American troops, more and more American naval assets at that point. Like, what's that meme of what's that classic meme where it's like, you've been wrong as you've underestimated Iran? No, I didn't underestimate Iran necessarily. I overestimated America's capabilities, but I think a lot of people did. And plus, I wasn't as like doom and gloom as many others were, for the record. That's ridiculous. Are you saying our troops will be impacted? Yes. Can you explain why? Isn't America's Navy better? Brother, America's Navy is still living in the real world, okay? It's still limited by physics. What do you think happens when hundreds of fucking Shahed drones, many of them will be intercepted, but 100 fucking Shahed drones are swarming a naval asset? What are you talking about? It's literally a choke point that has a fuck ton of I suspect a fuck ton of missile launchers directed at it from the Iranian side. We're talking about American naval assets that couldn't hold, American naval assets that could not even open the Red Sea because the Houthis were able to successfully give them too strong of a fucking fight. I'm not even, dude, this is like, but don't, we have submarines? Okay. I don't think you understand. What the fuck's a submarine gonna do to transport a fucking oil tanker? it's not, Iran doesn't just have boats to possibly fucking laser these oil tankers. What's a submarine going to do to 1,000 fucking drones? Also, Trump has defined this war as basically being no threat to America, like zero losses. His loss condition is very different than Iran's. Yeah, no, he has not defined this war as basically being no threat to America. He has literally openly said over and over again, some people are going to die. As a matter of fact, he keeps increasing the casualty count every day. Every day they ask him, Mr. President, how's the war going? He's like, a lot of you are going to die. You're going to die a terrible death. You're going to die like a dog. You're going to die for Israel, and you're going to like it. And like every fucking Republican on the timeline is like, yes, Mr. President, I fucking love dying for Israel. I'm a dog. I'm a slave. I'm so castrated, Mr. President. I love you. I fucking love you, Mr. President. Fuck my wife. Kill my firstborn. Fuck my wife. That's basically what MAGA's position is in this entire process. Look, where the fuck is it? I was tweeting about this last night because it pissed me the fuck off. Donald Trump says, I guess Americans should worry about Iran retaliating on U.S. soil. Like I said, some people will die. To which I responded with, MAGA is fucking cattle. This shit's polling at 84% in the Republican base. Anyone that tells me we got to pivot right to win these people over should never be listened to again. You can offer them social safety nets, but you cannot pivot right to win over these troglodytes. That's why Kamala Harris is, we're going to have the most lethal military argument, was the one of the most idiotic fucking arguments of all time. Okay? It was so dumb. And then this person goes, even... There's a whole bunch of independent and swing voters who don't agree with this, who you do need to win over by culturally moderating. Dum-dum. I said, yes, the swing voters who hates free healthcare and loves hearing diet fascism but with abortions. Or do we concede on that too? These guys are so fucking stupid. Also, Iran has short-range Shaheds that go 300 plus miles an hour and have stealth coating on them, making them harder to target. Yeah, they're too busy tweeting this, which, by the way, is insanely humiliating. This is reportedly footage that Lebanese border guards caught on thermal. Channel 12 Israeli helicopters are attempting to land on the Syrian border. Clashes are heard in the area. The occupation army is launching airstrikes in the area. This is usually a bad sign. Yeah. If the occupation forces are launching airstrikes in an area where there's Israeli troops, that means that the Israeli troops have been captured. That's literally the only thing that means. Because that's their contingency plan. Yeah, more and more people are saying 9/11 too. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. Are they going to play the video? Or they are playing the video. Video's trash. I watched it. Oh, wait. There's some movement. Troop movement. Helicopter. Wait. Oh, no, it just gets behind the... That's it? That's just them landing, right? This is the start of the global reset. We think empire is a good entity which cares about the betterment of humanity. No, it does not. They want chaos everywhere. And Iran closing the Hormuz is making the process faster. Lebanese media is saying all the Israeli occupational forces fell and their bodies are in the hands of Hezbollah. A lot of shots in Beirut is a fucking war zone from Cam's noises alone in the past 15 minutes. As of 30 minutes ago, Greg Stoker is getting reports from active duty military combat units are getting deployment orders. He suspects the ground invasion is imminent. Oh, brother, that is so fucking dumb. God damn, they're stupid.
It looks like a ground invasion of Iran is being planned for, and active duty military units are now getting deployment orders. The 82nd Airborne Division has been told to cancel training exercises and become deployable. Same with 3rd Special Forces.
Oh, brother. This is, oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. This is, it's not Vietnam 2. It's worse because it's way fast. Like, worse from the American perspective because it's going to be way faster. This is like, oh, God. Having the dumbest guys in charge, turns out, was maybe not the best idea for the continuation of American empire. I'm in a Discord with active duty people. They're also getting ordered to be ready. There's a chance they're just deploying to train and advise proxies. No. When's the last time Americans actually deployed advisors just to train? That's usually the first step before boots on the ground invasion. Yeah. Vietnam? There is never a situation where they just only send the fucking trainers and the advisors, okay? Who are they training?
Security establishment. If this is to be a long war, it's crucial to get the people behind them. And for that, they need them to feel that life is as normal as it can be. The US president said on Truth Social there would be no deal with Iran except for unconditional surrender and the selection of what he said was a great and acceptable leader. As the immense combined force of American and Israeli air power continued in its efforts to bomb the Islamic Republic into submission. Diana Magnay, Sky News, Jerusalem.
در حمله به مدارس به ویژه در مینا شهادت کودکان دختر عزیز ما فرشته های آسمانی ما در حمله به ورزشگاه ها در حمله به منازل مسکونی در حمله به بیمارستان ها و مراکز درمانی و اورژانس اینه دشمن ما فریب خورده ها و واداده ها که منتظر بودن کمک ترامپ از راه برسه این کمک ترامپ کثیف
چیزی که قلب ما رو داره میرنجونه این که اگر مسئولین ما خدایی نکرده
دشمن
از مذاکره بزنن یا آتش بس اون کثافت ببخشید خیلی عذرخواهی میکنم اون کثافت ترامپ و نتانیاهو رو قبول کنن من ادامه پیدا کنه ما تا آخرین قطره خونمون اینجا وایسادیم تا انتقام رهبر شهیدمون انتقام این همه جوون بچه مرد و زن خواهر و برادر ما گرفته بشه
مرگ بر امریکا. Guys, they're saying death to America. They're saying death to America, guys. That's what that means, by the way. Marg bar America means death to America. That's what like a lot of Americans love using that as a reason to be like, we have to kill all these people. They keep saying death to America, death to America. It's like, yeah, I wonder why they're fucking saying that, dumbass. It's the Fort Bragg Airborne. Oh, fuck, it's done. We're invading. It's literally the immediate response force. U.S. Army is abruptly canceled. This was earlier today. The U.S. Army has abruptly canceled major training exercise for headquarters. Headquarters elements of the 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg in North Carolina, fueling speculation within the Defense Department that soldiers specializing in ground combat and a range of other missions may be sent to the Middle East to join the war against Iran, sources tell the Washington Post. 82nd Airborne operates a brigade combat team consisting of several thousand soldiers. This is not like a guarantee. This is just OSINT Defender. Scoop, the Army in recent days canceled a training exercise for the headquarters elements of the 82nd Airborne Division. This is from the Washington Post. Fueling speculation among soldiers that they may be called out. I mean, it's just, again, this is still speculation. This is still speculation. Bro, you speak Farsi better than 80% of us without any accent? That's insane. Bro, you're sure you're not Persian? You literally have no accent when you speak Farsi? What? Oh, because I said Markbar America. I just know only that. And also, there's a lot of Turkish has a lot of loan words, like düşman is Turkish as well. Yeah, düşman is how we say it in Turkish. Yeah, this made me sad. I saw an interview. I saw this earlier today. This was one of the interview with the unarmed ceremonial sailors in India before they were slaughtered, or in Sri Lanka before they were slaughtered in international waters.
Hi. One thing, what's your name?
I'm Mehdi.
Mehdi. I'm Sami.
Sami, nice
yeah,
to meet
yeah,
you.
yeah. Love your outfit.
Thank you.
Oh, so.
So, yes.
What do you call that in Iran?
Shamshir.
Shamshir.
We say this Shamshir, yes.
Can you remove your Shamshir? What should Indians try in Iran?
India or
Iran?
In Iran, korma sabzi.
Korma sabzi.
Yes, korma sabzi. You eat korma sabzi?
I never tried, but I want to. Is it of non-veg chicken?
Yes, biryani is so spicy. Oh, I cry in the table.
I will teach you Telugu, Isaac language. I will tell you a dialogue, you need to repeat it, okay?
Okay.
Katuludo kadura.
Katuludo kadura.
Kanti chuputo champesta.
Kantupiti kantista.
Kanti chupido campesta.
Champesta.
Kantupiti kantista.
Brother, you're so amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
He tricked them? What does that mean? Damn, man, he's a kid. Bro, look. We talk about, like, American soldiers as well, but, like, it's the same shit. Who the fuck do you think is getting deployed into the region right now in America, too? I'm Telugu. I speak Telugu. No, I didn't. That wasn't my fault. I know this might be a dumb question, but is Israel trying to invade Lebanon in the middle of the Iran war? Yes. Some survived. Yeah. I think like Khomeini clarified what death to America actually means. Yeah, this is really funny. The U.S. authorities complain and ask, why do Iranians say Markbar America? Let me make something clear to the U.S. leaders. This is so funny. He's woke here. He's being woke. You know, this is another woke moment from the former Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Let me make something clear for U.S. leaders. I had a very similar conversation with Cenk, if you recall. This is his America Deserved 9/11 moment. Death to America means death to Trump, John Bolton, and Mike Pompeo. It means death to American rulers. We have no problems with the American people. Death to America is about the rulers of America. It's about the group of people who are currently in charge. Khamenei was also very woke about black people. Yeah, they were super pro BLM. I think they mourned the loss of George Floyd. They have Malcolm X Day. Khamenei literally linked up with Thomas Sankara. Okay. A lot of people forget, like, Erdogan does this shit too. Erdogan will literally fucking like beat the shit out of Turkish protesters and then turn around and talk about Black Lives Matter protesters getting hit by the American government and how like he's in support of Black Lives Matter. This is our part of the world. Okay. Our part of the world is a complex, difficult to comprehend part of the world. Americans cannot understand it. Like, We have our own unique versions of discrimination, systemic discrimination, and unique versions of repression. But like, you know, the Iranian Revolution was a real revolution. Yeah. Reminder that Ayatollah Khamenei and President Khatami sent their official condolences to the United States after September 11th, attacks in 2001, and helped offer intelligence against the Taliban during the early years of the war in Afghanistan. Yeah, of course. Yeah, bizde ırkçılığı Kürtlere yapıyorlar aynen. Bir de biraz da Araplara da yapıyorlar galiba. This is also any American politician talking about the Uyghurs as a political cudgel against China, not saying their plight isn't real, but the condemnation for the U.S. is bat-faced as fuck. No, that's not an adequate comparison, because Americans don't give a fuck about the Chinese, nor do they give a fuck about Muslims. Whereas when Ali Khamenei is talking about Black Lives Matter, like they have a long history of supporting black liberation and shit like that. So it's not, it's not even a complete one-to-one comparison, because we know Americans don't care about Chinese people. We know Americans don't care about Muslim people. So why the fuck do they care about the Muslim Chinese? It's bullshit. Like, I would say that the Iranian government's take, about like the plight of black people in America is not just like an aesthetic posture. They have a long-standing commitment to black liberation in Africa. And that's not a insincere thing that they say. They don't have a Malcolm X Day for no reason. You know what I mean? They do legitimately. It is a from their perspective, it is a united struggle against imperialism, against colonialism. Yeah, here is Khamenei with Sankara. A young Ayatollah Khamenei sitting with Thomas Sankara, two men from opposite ends of the world, one a Shia cleric from Iran, the other a Marxist soldier from Burkina Faso. Both shared one conviction: their people would never be free under Western domination. Sankara was assassinated in 1987, overthrown in a French-backed coup at the age of 37. He wanted to free Africa from debt, dependency, and foreign control. Khamenei was killed yesterday by American and Israeli bombs. He spent 35 years trying to keep Iran free from the same forces. Both men were called dictators of the best. Both were loved by millions who saw them as defenders of sovereignty. History separated them by decades. Empire united their fate. Okay, well, it's they did engage in anti-imperialist actions. Rare Sankara L. No, that's crazy. This is in fucking 1987, dude. Calm down. Who called Sankara a dictator? I don't know if people were calling him a dictator. I'm sure the Western world did, right? Yeah. Here is Khamenei with the great Fidel. What is this? There have been some very bad developments today. Senator Murphy serves on the Foreign Relations Committee and, more importantly, the Subcommittee on Defense Appropriations. Iran has destroyed a key 300 million radar system crucial to directing U.S. Missile defense batteries in the Gulf that risk further straining the region's ability to counter future attacks, according to a U.S. official. Yeah. Khomeini. Here, this is, I talked about this before. Ayatollah Khomeini, not Khamenei, Khomeini, during the conquest of the Americans, spied in 1979, did this ultimate woke move, and when they came back, Americans were mad at the black embassy staffers.
Hear, Imam, that today, perhaps today, some black hostages and some female hostages will be released from the American embassy compound. Is that true?
The freedom of the women and blacks will be given. Women are given great dignity in Islam, and the blacks have been oppressed in the United States. Great injustice was done unto them. They were under pressure in the United States. Thus they came here. We are doing this owing to the tenets of Islam.
Hear, Imam.
Woke. Damn, he was woke even when woke was not born yet. Yeah. Does that not pique your curiosity a little bit? Yeah, they did execute and imprison the communist two-day movement after the revolution. I know. I'm not I'm not a fan, okay? But like there is a complexity there that a lot of people refuse to comprehend, especially in the United States of America. Does that make you even a little bit curious as to like what this movement was about initially? What it turned into is not something that is defensible in my opinion, but this is why I say initially the revolution was a popular revolution. It was a real anti-imperialist revolution. There's a reason why, especially Khomeini's the photos are in like a lot of households, even in the United States of America. Like he is seen as a symbol of successful resistance against Western imperialism. They weren't doing that in the embassy as a fuck you to America. They were doing that because this was a part of their belief system. But once again, things obviously have changed, and throughout years, the Islamic Republic did become a much more repressive force. Yeah, it was a real social revolution with many components. It was the clerical components that won in the end, unfortunately. Well, his photo is required to be up somewhere in public shops and stuff. No, I'm not talking about in Iran, chatter. I'm talking about his photo in the Western world and like in developing nations like Ayatollah Khomeini is still considered understandably considered a revolutionary figure. He also didn't, live long enough to see out what the movement would turn into, but I think the Iraq War was a devastating blow. To what could have taken place in Iran. That's bullshit. It's not required. I was born in Iran and lived there. No, I'm not even... Dude, I'm not talking about Iran anyway. Have you seen Geopol's dog shit take on if Iran should be a country? I have not, but it's not surprising to me. Dude, I'm Turkish. The average Turk's position against Israel is also the average Turk, if you ask them about Israel, will fucking read you the riot act about how what Israel actually deserves. Ask them about Iran, and they'll say almost similar things about Iran. A lot of other nationals in the region of Sunni background especially have a very negative attitude about Israel. I mean, not Israel, sorry, Iran. Israel as well, but also Iran as well. That's why I always laugh when dumb motherfuckers come in here and they're like, bro, it's because you're Muslim that you're defending the IRGC or some shit. Like, yeah. Yeah, of course, white Westerners look at Iran as like the big bad. The fuck? I wouldn't expect that. No, dude. What are you guys talking about? A lot of people don't... Most of the region does not fuck with Iran. Even Muslims, again, Sunni Muslims do not fuck with Iran at all. So my expectation from like white Zoomers and the Westerners is not going to be that like they're going to have a reasonable approach to what should happen in Iran. Of course, they're oblivious. I promise you, not anymore. Iranians have literally fought the war. All Sunni populations wish their governments would. Who knows what happens after this past week's incidents? But I think every rocket launched from Iran in the direction of Tel Aviv reminds the shame that I think a lot of other regional, like a lot of other people in the region feel towards their own governments. Except for those in Syria. Syria will never fuck with Iran. Let's be real. That's not happening. What is this? Khamenei meeting with Phil Collins in Iran while he was trying to raise money for Live Aid 1985. Phil said he came up with his 1985 hit Susu Studio. Shortly after his conversation with Ayatollah Khomeini and Khamenei, Phil said in a 2001 interview, the sheer presence these men had was awe-inspiring. I made Susu Studio to try to help people understand what I felt in that moment. Wait, what? What the fuck is what? It's a bit, right? This is a joke, right? I don't even understand what the fuck. Not Phil Collins. I don't even know what this is. I don't understand what this is even talking about. I don't have enough musical knowledge, but I'm glad that Cavernickel is took the time out from talking about his number one subject, which is the Maine Senate Democratic primary. I really like him, but I do sometimes have my I like him a lot. I think he's a great voice as far as one of the few content creators in this fucking space that is relentless about his anti-imperialist advocacy, especially because this is what he studied. Tremendously for Cavs bit. That's not even Phil Collins in the picture. Yeah, he really is fascinated. As are many other non-American leftist content creators, anti-imperialist content creators, with the Maine Democratic Party primary for the Senate run. Yani İran'ı biraz fazla excuse ediyorsun gibi, içeride brutal falan diyorsun, tamam da bildiğin yobazların milleti anasını ağlattı, halkı maddi manevi sömürdüğü bir rejim netice. Hele bize pek uzakta değil, sakın bağırma. Abicim sana bağırmam da biz Amerika'nın köpeği olmasaydık o zaman anlardın yani. O yobazlıktan dolayı anasını sikmediler insanların. O yobazlık da yapıyorlar, evet. Ama asıl insanların anasını sikmelerinin sebebi Amerika götlerini sikiyor yıllardır. İsrail ağızlarına sıçıyor yıllardır. Bunu sen Türk olarak anlayamazsın. Bunu Türk olarak anlayamazsın çünkü biz NATO'nun köpeğiyiz. Okey? Biz eğer NATO'nun köpeği olmasaydık o zaman görürdün. Biz o Amerikan çemberinin içerisindeyiz. Belki bir gün görürsün zaten İsrail bizim götümüze girdiği zaman. Birkaç seneye. Eğer buradan çıkabilirlerse. Anlamazlar. Bayraktarları var. Bunların o kurtaracak sanıyorlar. Internal and external issues are different. Evet yobazlar ama onlar da kendi devrimleriyle geldiler. Aynen. O devrimden beri de götlerini sikmeye çalışıyor Amerika yani. Hiç durmadılar. Ağır ağır girdiler yani. Ekonomi hani biz bağırıyoruz. Türkler bağırıyor. Amerika anamızı siktiğine. Dolar kaç oldu diye. Ekmek 500 lira oldu falan diye konuşuyorsunuz. Şimdi düşün. İran'ın durumunu düşün o zaman. Yani Amerika bizi sikiyorsa İran'ı kaç kere siktiğini düşün. NATO ülkesiyiz. Amerikan nükleer füzeleri var ülkede. Hala Amerika bağırttırıyor ekonomisini Türkiye'nin. O zaman İran'ın ekonomisine ne yaptığını bir düşün. Bir dakika. IMF'yi biliriz. Dünya Bankası'nı biliriz. Ama bunlar İran'ın durumuna baktığın zaman, Küba'nın durumuna baktığın zaman, Venezuela'nın durumuna baktığın zaman bunlar hiçbir şey değil yani. Anyway, let's continue. Regarding convincing Trump, here's an AEI fellow suggesting the use case for the 82nd Airborne could be dropping them on a tiny island off the coast of Iran to seize a key oil terminal. Setting aside the suicide mission dimension here, though, maybe that's the point. Oh my God. Ain't no fucking way. That's even dumber than like a full-blown... That's even dumber than like a full-blown troop deployment. If the administration elects to send ground force into Iran, one early target analysts have said could be Karg Island. Located about 15 miles from the mainland of the Persian Gulf, the island is home to some of Tehran's most significant oil infrastructure, with about 90% of the country's oil exports moving through facilities there. A U.S. seizure of Karg Island would give Trump administration control of a centerpiece of the Iranian economy, but leave U.S. troops vulnerable to attack. Michael Rubin, a senior fellow at the Conservative American Enterprise Institute, calls securing Karg Island a no-brainer and said it appears that the Trump administration appears to be coming around to the idea that Iran is a much greater problem set than perhaps they went in thinking. While U.S. troops could take incoming fire if deployed there, Rubin said capturing the island would give the U.S. significant strategic advantages, including potentially choking off Tehran's ability to pay its military. Securing Iran's most significant oil infrastructure also would follow a pattern for Trump, who has previously sought to secure oil wealth for the United States through the capture of the Oh no, they're going to convince him. They're going to say this is going to be just like Venezuela. Oh no. I don't know how difficult of a military mission it is to defend Karg Island. This is completely outside of my realm of comprehension. I don't know. But this is a Battlefield 3 mission, bro. I just suspect that they would be lasering at the point of deployment anyone that's trying to get to the island. Iran will just bomb it. They wouldn't care. That's crazy. I don't think they'll bomb their own fucking infrastructure that 90% of its oil revenue flows through. That's what they're banking on. And it will be quite difficult It would be quite difficult for them to deploy the IRGC there, though. Don't you think troops on the ground will trigger impeachment talks with this Democratic Party? With this Democratic Party? Ha! With our current Democratic Party, you say? That's a good one. Yeah. Chuck Schumer will impeach you for suggesting such a silly thing before impeaching Donald Trump. Remember, they literally held back the War Powers Act until Donald Trump started the war. That's number one. Okay? Not only did they hold back the War Powers Act, yesterday they literally positioned their caucus so that only 4 uncompromised Democratic Party votes that were necessary for the no vote could go and caucus with the Republicans instead. 4 Democrat defectors. How do you think that happened? House rejects effort to rein in Trump's war powers in Iran. In a 212 to 219 vote, the House of Representatives rejected the measure requiring the president to seek congressional approval for more military action against Iran. Now, you might say, oh, it's those 4 Democrats that are fucked up. That is the broke boy mentality. The real woke boy mentality is to know that more than half of the Democrats would also, more than half of the Democrats in the caucus are also absolutely on board with this initiative. They just don't want to fall on the sword. So internally, it was Jared Golden, Henry Cuellar, Greg Landsman, and Juan Vargas that were the 4 Democrats that were the safest seats, that were the ones who were seen as the rotating villains this time around. The Democratic Party does this all the time. Okay? The Democrats do this all the time. They get together internally, look at who is the least likely to get thrown out of their seats, least likely to get punished. Sometimes the most right-wing seats or the most right-wing congresspersons, let's be real, because the idea that these guys had to literally stop the idea that these guys had to fucking vote in favor or had to vote against the War Powers Act is bullshit, okay? They didn't have to do it at all. That's the silly attitude. That's the simpleton's mindset, okay? This is how you create a controlled opposition while still simultaneously making it seem like, oh, the whole Democratic caucus wanted to do this. It's just these 4 spoilers ruined it. No. Those 4 spoilers are protecting the rest of the caucus. Are you having a stroke, Lamau? No, I'm having a hard time explaining this. Those 4 spoilers are actually protecting something far more consequential and far worse. They are protecting the rest of the Democrats that are also on board with this. They just don't want to fucking come across like they're in support of something that is objectively unpopular to their own base. Okay? Those are the 4 patsies. And they are hand-selected because they have the least likelihood of being thrown out of their position of power. Do you understand? They are not even drawing the shorter straws or the shortest straws. This happens all the time, by the way. They will choose people who are either retiring or choose people that just won their primaries, right? With like a wide margin like Henry Cuellar did, right? It's very common. This happens every time the Democrats have an initiative where they have to win, like a must-pass bill or something like that. Who selects them? The party gets together and internally figures out who's going to be falling on the sword. That's the real truth. Yeah, at first, it seems Democrats are always caving to the Republicans. But when you watch it happen over and over again, you eventually wake up and realize it's more sinister than caving. Democrats are colluding with the Republicans because they serve the same donors and the same corrupt system as them. Amazing how they always come up with the precise number of votes needed to block anything good from happening, almost like it's a coordinated strategy for them leadership to cover their complicity. This is exactly how it works. It happened in the shutdown. Do you not remember? It happened in the fucking shutdown. The Democrats that came out and voted to end the shutdown, those weren't the only Democrats that wanted to end the shutdown. There were a fuck ton more Democrats that wanted to end the shutdown as well. They were just too pussy to come out and say it because they were afraid of facing their actual voters. This is how it always works. So when you think like, oh, it's just Kyrsten Sinema, it's just Joe Manchin, remember, it's not just Kyrsten Sinema. It's not just Joe Manchin. There are a shit ton more Democrats that are also, if push comes to shove, willing to play the role of that spoiler. Okay? It's to preserve the idea that the Democrats are an opposition party, that they do this like precise number of votes required to fail these sorts of initiatives. It's kind of wild that a lot of people don't understand this. This is the same song and dance that they play all the time. The rotating villain structure. I've described it before. John Fetterman is too brain broken to play that role convincingly, so he's basically just swapped sides at this point, right? And people understand that. People hate him for it. But the reality of the matter is, John Fetterman is supposed to play that role in the Senate. It's just that he stroked out so fucking hard, he can't even play that role convincingly, so he's just a Republican now. Yeah, it protects people like Moskowitz, who said the bill was to protect Ayatollah Bill. Yeah, exactly. So that's something you got to understand. That's why I said that where is it? What did I fucking say? I said that like whoever calls out the Democratic leadership for their complicity here will actually become the legend. The first Democrat that called this out for a clear gaming of the system by the party leadership to hide the compliance of the rest will become the ascendant leader of the party.